I am 87 years old, and for 43 of those years, I lied to my wife every day. She still doesn't know. She's in the other room right now, watching one of her shows. The TV is so loud that I can hear the recorded laughter from here. She has always liked those shows, the ones that solve everything in half an hour. I used to tease her about it, but affectionately, as one does when there is trust. I'm going to tell her tonight, after dinner.
I don't know how much time we have left for either of us, and I'm tired. I'm tired of carrying this. It's not what you think. There is no other woman. There never was. It's something smaller and worse. When we got married, I made a promise, the usual ones, to love, honor, cherish, and I did. I do. But there was a promise I made to myself that I never talked to her about. I was 44 years old. We had been married for 8 years. 2 kids, a mortgage, the whole picture. And I decided somewhere in my head that I was going to wait. Not for something dramatic, not for the perfect moment. Just wait. I told myself that when things calmed down at work, when the kids were a little older, when we had a little more money, then I would be present. I was going to stop living in a hurry and be a real husband to her. I would be a real father to our kids. I believed it. I thought there was time. I worked late. Not because I had to, not always. Sometimes I stayed because it was easier than facing the chaos at home. Dinner time was noisy. Homework was a battle. My wife was tired, I was tired. And at some point, I started treating my family as if they were something I would get to later. As if they were a prize I hadn't earned yet. I remember one night. It must have been in 1987. My daughter was about 9 years old. She made a drawing. It was our family, stick figures, a big sun in the corner. She brought it to me while I was reading the newspaper after dinner. I remember thinking, I should put this down. I should look at her. But I didn't. I glanced at it. I told her it was nice. And I went back to reading. That drawing probably stayed on the refrigerator for a month. I never really looked at it again. There were thousands of moments like that. Thousands of small decisions. Each one felt like nothing. Each one seemed reasonable. I provided. I did what I was supposed to. I had to be a man, work hard, support the family, be responsible. But responsibility became a wall behind which to hide. I told my wife I loved her, and I felt it. But I stopped showing it in ways that cost me something. Stopped showing it in ways that required me to be uncomfortable, or tired, or vulnerable. I would kiss her when I left in the mornings. I would come home and ask about her day, but I wasn't really there. I was already thinking about tomorrow, already thinking about the next thing, and she knew it. She had to know it, but she never said anything, not directly. Sometimes she looked at me a certain way, across the table, or when I came home late and she had already gone to bed. That look, as if she were waiting for me to return, not from the office, from wherever I had gone inside myself. I thought I had time. I thought that someday, when I was ready, I would find the way back. He would have been the husband she deserved, the father my children deserved. I just had to get through this project, this year, this stage. The years passed quickly. That's what they tell you. Everyone over 50 says the same thing. But you don't believe it until you're sitting where I'm sitting. My children grew up. They left. Now they have their own lives, their own families. They call on birthdays, sometimes on Sundays. I don't blame them. I taught them how to leave. I taught them that distance was normal. My wife and I carried on. We kept the routine, breakfast together, separate armchairs in the living room at night, conversations about what needed to be done, what needed fixing, who needed to be called, practical talks, safe talks. And all those years, I kept telling myself the lie, the same one. I'll get there. I'll be present. Just not yet. 3 years ago, my best friend died. Frank. We had known each other since childhood. He had a heart attack on a Tuesday, just like that. I went to the funeral. I saw his wife, Helen, standing by the coffin. She looked lost, as if the floor had been taken from under her and she didn't yet know how to fall. After the service, I spoke with her for a few minutes. Just kind things. How much I was sorry, if she needed anything. And she said something I haven't been able to forget. She said, I wish we had more time, not more years. Just more time. You know? I knew. I knew exactly what she meant. She wasn't talking about quantity. She was talking about presence, about all those afternoons Frank spent in front of the television, about all those conversations they didn't have because there would always be a tomorrow. I came home from that funeral and looked at my wife. She was in the kitchen making soup. Something simple. She had her back to me. And I stood in the doorway looking at her for I don't know how long. Just looking. And I realized I had been looking at her back for 40 years, always from behind, always going somewhere else. That night, I almost said something. We were in bed, in the dark, and I opened my mouth. I was going to say it. I was going to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not being here. I'm sorry for making you wait. I'm sorry for every night you went to bed alone, even when I was right next to you. But I didn't. I couldn't find the words. And I told myself the same lie as always. Tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll tell her. Tomorrow came and went. Thousands of tomorrows came and went. Last month, I had a scare, pain in my chest, shortness of breath. They kept me in the hospital for 3 days. They ran all the tests. They said it wasn't a heart attack, but it was a warning. They said I needed to slow down. At 87, one would think that would be obvious. But I've never been good with the obvious. Lying in that hospital bed staring at the ceiling, I did the math. Not of the years, of the moments. The real moments when I was fully present. Completely there, with my wife, with my children, with my own life. I could count them. That's the problem. I could literally count them. The day of our wedding, the birth of our 2 children, the vacations we spent at the beach in '93 when my daughter laughed so hard that milk came out of her nose. Some random Sundays. That's it. Everything else was just going through the motions, being in the room but not in the moment. And now I am 87 years old, and my wife is 84, and we don't have 40 years left. We don't have 4. We might have 4 months left, 4 weeks, 4 days. No one knows. So tonight, after dinner, I am going to tell her. I am going to tell her that I wasted a large part of our time together, that I was a fool who thought there would always be a later, that I loved her, I always loved her, but I didn't love her well, not as she deserved, not as she loved me. I am going to tell her that every morning I woke up next to her was a gift that I didn't open. Every conversation we could have had, I traded for silence. Every moment I could have held her hand, I was holding a newspaper, a remote control, a concern for something that didn't matter. I'm going to tell you the truth, that the biggest regret of my life is not something I did, it's everything I didn't do. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect anything. I just need you to know it. I need you to hear it from me before I go, before she goes, before there's no one left to tell it. And this is what I wish someone had told me when I was 44, when I was 34, when I was 24, when I had time, when I could still change things. Those moments you think don't matter, they're the only ones that do. The way your wife looks at you when you walk through the door, that question your son asks while you're reading something, that afternoon when no one is sick, no one is fighting, and they're all just sitting there, doing nothing. That's nothing. That's everything. And you won't know it until it's gone. I believed that success was providing. I believed that being a good husband was being reliable. I believed being a good father meant being responsible. I was wrong. Being a good husband is looking at her, really looking at her, even when you're tired, even when you've seen the same face for 50 years, even when there's nothing new to see. You look because she's there, because you both are there, because one day you won't be. Being a good father is putting down whatever you have in your hands when your child gives you a crayon drawing. It's listening to the long story about nothing. It's being annoyed by the chaos and somewhere beneath the annoyance, knowing that this chaos is the true meaning of it all. I learned all this too late. That's what happens with wisdom. It only comes after you've already made the mistakes, after the damage is done, after the years have passed. I don't tell you this because I think I have answers. I don't. I tell you this because I'm old and tired, and I need someone to know what I've discovered, even though too late for it to matter. If you are young, if you are in the middle of life, if you still have time, don't wait. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait for things to calm down. They never calm down. Life is just one thing after another until it stops being so. It's here now, not later. Now. Tell them you love them. Not when it's convenient. Not when you've figured out how to say it perfectly. Just say it. With your mouth. With your presence. With your time. Because one day you will be my age. And you will look back. And you will realize that all the things you worked for, all the things you hoped for, all the things you thought would make you happy, won't matter. The only thing that will matter is if you were there, if you showed up, if you loved the people in front of you while they were still there to be loved. I can hear the TV in the other room. Her show is about to end. In minutes, we will have dinner. And then I will tell her. I am afraid, not of dying. I have already made peace with that. I am afraid of what she will say. I am afraid that she will look at me and see in her eyes that she already knew, that she has been waiting all these years for me to come back, and I am only just arriving now, when there is almost no time left. But I have to tell her anyway. Because the lie I have lived with, the lie that there would always be more time, that lie ends tonight. If you can still hear me, if you are still young enough for life to feel long, please, learn from an old man who learned too late. Do not wait. Do not hold back your presence for later. Do not assume there will be another opportunity to say what needs to be said. Look at the person next to you, right now. Look at them as if you will not see them tomorrow, because you may not see them. None of us knows. And if this meant something to you, if anything I said resonated in your chest, do not hold it back. Go and tell someone. Go and be with someone. Go and live your life as if you truly understand that it ends. That is the only advice I have. That is the truth after 87 years.
The television just turned off. It's time. I'm going to tell my wife that I love her. Not like I've been saying it, but like I should have said it every day for 43 years. I hope she hears me. I hope there's still time for her to hear me. I hope you don't wait as long as I have.